The brand new, steaming hot controversy from the father of all controversies. No, not that one. That one is dead. Today we are talking about Ragnarok and the PC launch, which should have been a major win for PC gamers. You'd think a single-player game wouldn't need to tether you to an online service like PlayStation Network, but no. Sony felt it necessary to enforce PSN linking on the Steam version. Naturally, the backlash was swift and merciless. The demand for a PSN account hit a raw nerve, leading to Steam review bombing, with the game briefly dropping to a mixed rating. Forcing players to link to PSN for a single-player experience seemed like an unnecessary and invasive step, a sentiment loudly echoed by frustrated players. If you even thought the quests in Assassin's Creed were repetitive, try reading these reviews.
Millions of people are dying.
This didn't last long though. It's a PC release, so natural forces had removed the problem within 2 working days. A modder going by the handle Artorias created a tool called No PS SDK that entirely removed the Steam login requirement. Imagine not having to hand over your PlayStation credentials just to access a game you already bought. No more fiddling with unnecessary logins, just pure gameplay. But in typical fashion, this was too good to last. Despite the mod's growing popularity, Artorias quickly pulled it from the internet. And no, it wasn't some covered cease and desist order from Sony that did it.
It's returned.
Hello, your computer has died.
The modder actually took the mod down preemptively due to its rising attention in the gaming press and among players. And that's when Artorias decided that maybe getting into legal hot water with Sony wasn't the smartest move.
3.
The modder didn't explicitly mess with Sony's code, but felt the looming threat of potential legal action was enough to call it quits. Better safe than sorry, they said. Too much attention can be a bad thing, especially when Sony's legal team could be involved. The mod's removal, however, didn't stop other players from attempting to keep the workaround alive. You can guess what happened next. Re-uploads and copies of the mod started cropping up almost immediately. But with the original gone, and Sony likely keeping an eye out for any similar projects, it's anyone's guess how long these alternatives will stick around. If anything, it seems like an attempt to drag PC players into Sony's ecosystem, maybe hoping to sell them on other PlayStation services. But given that this isn't the first time Sony has tried pulling this kind of nonsense with a PC release, should we even be surprised anymore? For now, it looks like players will either have to suck it up and create a PSN account or keep a lookout for new, more covered mods that Sony might not sniff out so easily. Either way, this whole ordeal is yet another example of how out of touch companies can be with what players actually want. The mod that removed this requirement was pulled down, not by force but out of fear, though replicas keep popping up. And really, it's not that big of a reach to compare this situation to the recent Nintendo lawsuit over the Palworld patent infringement. Although there are notable differences, like Palworld seems to take a generous amount of Pokemon inspiration to even lift off the ground, whereas Artorias just made some minor adjustments to the game. But having a better game experience at the cost of actual life-ruining lawsuits. Truly entering a new generation of gaming over here. One last note from me. Although it's highly unlikely, there's a possibility that Sony will try retroactively punish you for using the mods to remove PlayStation Network connection requirement, as this acts essentially as Sony's version of de novo anti-tamper DRM. This could reflect on your Steam account in the future, but as I said, this is not very likely. Either way, you've been warned.